Hey guys, welcome back to Andy's Dinosaur Reviews, and we have some pretty fun stuff to take a look at today, as I know you guys tend to like my Dinosaurs, I guess you could call them, videos, and then basically it's just some stuff that I found at like local flea markets and stuff like that, and you guys usually tend to like them even though there's nothing super amazing often, but there's some fun stuff. So the very first thing I'm going to bring in here is this, which some of you may be able to already figure out what it is, and now by looking at it out here, you'll probably have an even better idea. This is actually an old Imperial Tyrannosaurus Rex, but it's one of the kind of light-up ones, so they're a lot harder to find than your standard one. The standard ones are usually pretty much everywhere, but the light-up ones are much harder to find, and I actually found this guy at a flea market recently for like $5, so I was really psyched to stumble upon this. I do have plenty of the other one, the kind of standard version of it, but I did not have this one at all, and I always liked this figure. Really cool vintage looking Tyrannosaurus Rex, and I'm super happy to have another version of it here to enter into my collection. I did kind of take a look down here at the underside. It does not look like it's possible for the sound feature to still work, but I could be wrong. Once I actually get it cleaned up, it may work, but as of right now, it definitely does not. And then this was a score that I was really, really excited about. And you can see them as I bring them in here. There's quite a few of them that were there when I had discovered these in a box, just like a random box sitting there. And this is why I love flea markets and stuff like that, because you just never know what you're going to stumble upon when you're out checking them out. And I did acquire all of these for $5, which some people may not even realize that these are kind of valuable, but they very much so are, and we have, like, honestly, nearly a complete set. There's definitely a few that are still missing, but we got a lot of the Mpc, I believe that's who these ones are, the Mpc Dinosaur Line, and these usually go for, not super expensive, but quite a few dollars on eBay, and I was lucky enough to stumble upon this entire set of these right here for $5. There was actually a Triceratops there as well, but I decided to pass up on that one because it was chewed up pretty bad, so I didn't really want to get a chewed up version of it, and I already do have the Triceratops to begin with, so I wasn't super worried about picking up another one that was already chewed up. These are basically like the cheaper version of the Marx figures, if you are familiar with the old Marx dinosaur figures, but they're honestly close to being as beautiful as those, and I love vintage dinosaur toys, so finding these for $5 for all of them was just unbelievable. I could not possibly be happier about this score of all of these gorgeous figures right here. Then we've got some other fun stuff. I'm bringing them all in out of bags here, so you may hear the bags rustling a little bit here and there. But this guy, I don't know anything about. He's a very interesting looking old school Ceratosaurus toy, but I thought he was, so old school, so vintage, and something that I've never seen prior. So he was so fun and had such a, a feel to him that I really was interested in picking him up. And again, just because I don't know anything about the figure at all, I was really excited about it to find him. His horn is chipped up there on his nose, but I'm okay with that because I think I paid like $1 for him. So it's not a big deal that his horn's beat up there. I'm just happy to have one. And again, anything vintage dinosaur related, I'm always psyched to find. I also found this guy here, which my son actually has this figure. I don't know what it is from. I honestly have no idea. So you guys will probably be able to help me out with that in the comments section. Let me know exactly what this figure is from. But I found this one at a yard sale for 50 cents. So couldn't go wrong with a 50-cent dinosaur purchase, even though he's obviously not the best dinosaur in the world. For 50 cents, I couldn't say no. His action feature does still work. But I think it's a safe bet to say that his batteries are dying, so his batteries will definitely have to get changed, and I apologize for that horrendous noise you just had to endure. And we also had this big goofy guy here. Again, not all of these are going to be the most appealing dinosaur figures in the world, but this guy looks super funny, and I thought he was fun enough to pick up. And actually, starting from this point, moving forward, we're going to have kind of like a lot of dinosaurs that I just paid $10 for straight up. And there's not too many of them, but they were all at one flea market, one table at this flea market. So I just purchased all of them, brought them up to the person, asked them what they wanted. They said $10, so I happily obliged. But you can see this one is not all that great, but he was fun enough for me to purchase. And again, he also has kind of a light up sound type of a feature. With a very old school sort of a dinosaur type of a roar. He's definitely not the best dino I've ever seen, but he has a fun enough appearance that I was pretty happy to add him to my collection. There was also this figure right here, which I believe this is one of those kind of like Disney sets that you see every once in a while that just have like a bunch of figures from certain movies, and this one's from The Good Dinosaur. I've actually never watched the movie The Good Dinosaur. I was never all that interested in it, which you would think I would be, but it just wasn't something that I wanted to see personally. My kids have watched it. Maybe someday I'll get around to it. So I've never really been all that into the merchandise from the movie. I always thought the dinosaurs looked kind of silly, but I did enjoy this Rex as far as his appearance goes in figure form. So again, he was there. I picked him up and decided, what the heck, I might as well just get him too. Then we had quite the oddball sticking out in there. There was also the red Herrera Source from the Mattel Jurassic World line. And although I do have this figure for, the cheap price that they were asking, which I don't really know how much I would consider. I guess it's like $1 or $2, something like that. Maybe like $2 or $3 for, I'd say probably actually like $2 for the figure. I thought it was definitely worth picking up another one. And then there was also a Laramie Tyrannosaurus Rex. If you are not familiar with the Laramie figures, these are basically knockoffs of the Invicta line with obviously much cheaper of an appearance. The detail is nowhere near as nice, but they're figures that I personally played with a lot as a kid, so they always have kind of a special place in my heart. And this guy's still pretty fun, even if he's not even remotely close to as nice as the original Invicta, but he's in really good shape, honestly, so I was pretty impressed with finding a Laramie Tyrannosaurus in such good shape. Definitely happy about him. And I don't think I had that color scheme prior. And then here was another figure that I was really excited to find, and that is this one right here. This is an Animal Planet figure. It's a Triceratops, and I've been kind of eyeing it up online for quite a few years. I did not ever see this one while Toys R Us was still open here, so I never had an opportunity to buy it, but I always thought it looked like a really, really good version of a Jurassic Park Triceratops. Like, they did a great job of capturing even the look of the Triceratops in the head sculpt right there. And then we've got like the osteoderms and everything back here on the body. Very reminiscent of a Jurassic Park Triceratops. I don't know if potentially it might even be like a bootleg of the old Kenner Triceratops. He has some pretty strong similarities to that figure. But he also comes with a remote control, so he's a remote control Triceratops. The only unfortunate aspect to this figure is actually if we turn it around, you can see that he's got about 1 billion screw holes. He looks like he was the victim of a drive-by or something like that. Maybe the Styracosaurus and the Triceratops have a war going on, and they took out this poor Triceratops. But regardless, he's still a really fun figure, and I was psyched to finally get one. And the final figure that was found at the flea market, and with this lot of figures I've been showing you, was one that I do also already have, but it's pretty hard to find at times, and I was really shocked to see it there. I figured at some point these would kind of trickle out here and there, but I honestly did not expect to encounter one at all. This beauty right here is the Velociraptor Blue from the Jurassic World live show. So again, I expected them from time to time to potentially be found at like a yard sale or something, but I didn't think I would actually find one because these were obviously probably purchased quite a bit from different families whenever they would go to the live show. But the fact that they were a little pricier, I would expect not too many people to have them. As far as like random families that are just ditching figures into flea markets and stuff, so I was really happy to see this one. And again, although I do have it, I've always wanted to repaint it since I got it because the sculpt is so good. So now that I was able to acquire this one at that flea market, I now can repaint this one and give it a much nicer, much more realistic Velociraptor Blue paint scheme. So something that is definitely on the list of minifigures to repaint in the future, but it was a figure that I was so psyched that I wanted to show off again in this video. So those are all of my really fun dinosaur scores that I've just recently acquired at flea markets and a yard sale. Some pretty fun stuff that I thought you guys would enjoy. So make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.